Welcome, dear listeners, to the Speak and Flow podcast, where we dive into unique stories to inspire you to take your team to the next level, even when the stakes are high and the pressure is on. I have an amazing trailblazer leader in the HR industry. She is Karla Yepez. She's the HR director for Trio Manufacturing, which is aerospace manufacturing. I'm so glad she's here. Hi, Karla.
Hi, Melinda. How are you?
I am great. I can't wait to dive into your amazing, inspiring story. Before we begin, can you share with us more about what is great? What is great in the world of trio manufacturing?
Oh, Melinda. I'm biased because I work here, but I am not because I work here. Trio is a world-class leader in the precision manufacturing world. We are a proud partner in fortifying the U.S. defense sector, delivering the high-quality components essential to the readiness of our nation's armed forces. And that brings me immense pride and joy to be a part of.
Oh my gosh, that gave me chills. And you're such, they really believe in you. The founders believed in you, and you have come so far in the HR world. You do so much for them. You do their safety, you do HR, you do a lot. But before we even dive into your story at Trio, I actually wanted to have you share with the audience, like the beginning. It wasn't always like this. Can you tell us what that was like?
Well, I come from very humble beginnings. It was very interesting times growing up. I come from a broken family of divorce, separated family. When I was 7, they divorced my parents, and I was alone a lot. I was alone a lot of the time, exposing me to quite a few negative experiences, but there, it's what helped me become resilient, in my perspective. Um, so during that time, I learned that I was gonna be alone, and it's okay. It's okay. I learned a lot during that time. I learned a lot about myself, learned a lot about my and how much I could deal with. And I learned a lot about my parents too. It was and my other family members that helped take care of me when my parents were not able to.
And you're primarily the only Hispanic in this area, correct? Like rare to have that, and you look different from people.
Yes, exactly. And that at that time, in that city where I was in, it was there was the community was majority, they were Caucasian. So I was bullied a lot because I was Mexican and I looked different. I don't look at right now because I have my hair is straight right now, but I had curly hair. I was tanned, I was so different, and I couldn't speak the language properly or fluently, so I was bullied a lot. But like I said, those circumstances helped me really become resilient. Like it didn't break me. On the
What did
contrary,
you do? Yeah, to protect yourself. Like, what did you do to build
I,
courage?
I honestly, I started reading to learn the language. I became determined to learn English. I became like, it was like an anger inside of me that I had to learn English. I was no longer in the safety network of my home and my parents where they all speak Spanish and they understood me. This is chow time. And it became like an obsession for me. I started going to the library a lot and like checking out the books and reading out loud really helped me articulate better and understand better. And I would read out loud to both my parents at that time, and they would tell me what a good job I was doing. But this was before they got separated, and then I kept that going when they separated because that was one of the only things that um, helped me feel safe because I read out loud to them. So during the times that I was alone, my aunt would think it was weird because I would read out loud by myself. She's like, "Who are you reading to?" I'm like, it became a nostalgic feeling for me.
Wow.
Just
What a way to turn
reading.
this anger into something positive for yourself. It fueled you to learn something new and learn a language, and then now speaking it out loud and saying it became nostalgic.
Ex-
Wow. And then
Exactly.
and then you have to get jobs, right? Multiple jobs.
yes, after that, we didn't grow up with a lot of money. I had other siblings at home. Now I had lived at home with a stepfather. Um, my dad, I would see him every weekend. He was always in my life, present, and he was actually one of the people that really pushed me. He would tell me, "Don't feel sorry for yourself. You're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. You have two legs, two arms, two eyes. You're not disabled, honey. You could get a job. Don't worry about it." And he was always very, very direct. And that I was like, you're right. I'm gonna go get a job. And I told my friend, "Hey, do you know anybody that's hiring?" "Oh yeah, there's a job right there down in Compton. Like, get let's just do it for the summer. Let's get some money." I'm like, "Yeah, I want to buy new clothes, and I was embarrassed to ask my parents for money because I already knew they were struggling. So I ended up going, and I worked there, and I worked in the back of the warehouse and just putting stamps in clothes and putting them in boxes. But that helped pay for the necessities of my, growing up and wanting to have nice clothes. And I'm not saying like expensive clothes, just decent clothes.
Yeah.
And and even then I remember just wanting to learn, like, why can't I be a cashier? Why do I have to be in the back? And just even then trying to learn everything, like, okay, so why is the pawn leaf like this? Oh, because if we put more, the box will break, so it has a certain amount that you can't exceed because it's going to break the box. You don't want the box. That's money from my pocket, the owners would tell me. After that, in high school, I graduated with honors from Paramount High. My alma mater, once a pirate, always a pirate. But it also taught me there to be, again, resilient. I didn't have family members there. I had a lot of good friends, but I didn't have family members. So I had to become strong and independent even since I was 7. I was left out alone. Not on purpose, but I had to be independent. I had to be strong. And nobody told me to do it. I just understood that that's how my life was going to be. And I never looked back. I never looked back. And that helped me become more ambitious and want to become something more than what I was, starting off at Chipotle after high school and going to a couple little college here and there, little trades that I learned. I ended up going to work at a moment where I didn't have resources or anything. I was just desperate for money. And I ended up going to Chipotle just to get a quick job to help pay the bills for my husband. It was too much for us. We were poor and we were little. We were 19 years old. We were kids and we didn't know better. So I went in and I got a job just to help my husband out with the bills. And after that, it still wasn't cutting it. So I ended up getting a full-time job at Truck Process, which is this is where everything kicked off. Truck Process was a pivotal moment for me in my career because it's what launched the beginning of my career.
Yeah. And what did you do there?
I started off just filing.
Filing.
Yeah, which means like nobody wants to file.
Right.
It's so tedious, but I found a love for it because I ended up I didn't just file to file. I would read who was a vendor, was a customer, certain part numbers. I wanted to know what they meant. I wanted to know what phase the part was in. What is shopping? What is that? What is that? I wanted to know everything. I guess I was nosy and I wanted to know more. And the VP actually started noticing me and she was like, "Hey, why don't you just come on and help me with certain things?" And I started helping her. And then accounting was at that moment, that person that was in charge of accounting was I want to say she was on salary, so she would come in around 10 and leave around 3. So it was a very limited time. I was there 6:45 every day and would leave like around 4. But I was there, and when she would leave early, they would ask, "Oh, can you please find a statement?" I was like, "What's a statement?" But I was like, "Don't worry, I'll figure it out. Give me 1 second. Let me place you on hold." And my customer service skills from Chipotle actually helped me try process when I would answer the phones, because I maintain that customer service in my head when they'll teach us at Chipotle, like, "Oh, smile and greet." Even if they call over the phone, smile, because they're going to hear your smile. And I kept that in the back of my mind. So they enjoyed the customers enjoyed talking to me, and I would place them on hold, and I'll ask my buddy Juan, like, how do I get a statement? Oh, this is how you do it. I'll take notes and everything. Little by little, they started asking
Yeah.
me now.
You could have like, because of your humble beginnings, because of the challenges, you could have like been in pity party. Oh, woe is me, like your uncle said, but you're not, right? You like made decisions to go out there, do whatever it takes to learn and to get really curious about whatever it is that you're there doing. Some people might say, oh my gosh, I don't want to file this so below me, or I don't want to do it. But then you got curious. Rather than that, you're learning and you're learning. And then the VP noticed that you're learning. You're not just filing.
Yeah, yeah. And then she went on FMLA for a couple months, and one of my machinists, he cut his thumb, and I figured it out. He came in, and I was crazy looking for anything that said workers' comp on it. And I found it, I took him, and there you go. That was literally what kicked off HR in my mind. It was that pivotal moment for me again, was that little workers' comp incident. And I started Googling, I started searching things up, I started asking questions, I asked questions for everything. Where do I find this? Where do I do this? How do I do that? I'll call the workers' comp, I'll call HealthNet at the time. I called everybody. I wasn't shy, I'm not shy. If I don't know something, I will let you know. And then,
So
yeah, so the employees started noticing, like, oh, she's trying to help us, right? And
mm-hmm.
little by little, I started like getting the hang of it, you know.
Mm-hmm. And then you extend your hand. You're willing to go above and beyond to help people. And
Yeah.
but that's what they love. And then so then you ended up topping out. You got like the max to where you were. And then what happened after that?
And then that company was bought out by a huge monster in the aerospace industry, and I was able to get a glimpse of corporate, which was amazing. It was a beautiful challenge for me, because it exposed me once again to HR again, to doing AR and AP. Exposed me to HR and found my true calling, which I realized at that moment that it was being helpful, remembering that we're in the business of people. We really are. And people are always going to need our help, and we have to remind them that we at the end of the day, we're people too, so we're going to help them regardless. And they wanted to feel like somebody cared about them, not just about how many parts did you deliver, did you plate my part, or did you do this, did you mask this part, all that stuff. They wanted more, and I started realizing that. And once that company I topped out, I fast forward to Trio, is where I just I was giving the opportunity of a lifetime at that moment. I didn't know it at that time, but I was really given the opportunity of a lifetime, because I had a mentor who believed in me since day one. He believed in me, and he never let up, even through the worst time, and the time where I hit rock bottom in my career, was when an employee threatened me and my children. He found my address. I suspect that he followed me home, or might have sent somebody to look for me. But Melinda, that was when it was rock bottom for me there. I I didn't know how to handle it. I thought, this is it. I'm done. Um, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I mean, my kids are everything to me. My children and my husband are my safety. And feeling that was compromised was the worst feeling ever. But my owners, being the tough, being relentless, being the mentors that they are and the people that they are, didn't leave me alone for a second. They hired a security team for me. They they mentored me through every single emotion that I had. Mind you, this whole time I'm still managing. I'm here, you see me smiling. I never let up. I kept assisting all my employees. I kept tutoring them and letting them know what the next move is. I was actually, during that time, we were in the middle of purchasing a new, I'm sorry, leasing out the new facility. I was in contact with the city of Carson at that time, because that's where we're moving. And I was still functioning, but inside I was deteriorating. And
Mhm.
only they knew about it, and my supervisor, and they're the ones who and my husband, that really were my support and just brought me back up to just mentally being okay. And I honestly feel like after that incident, I came back better and stronger. I went back to
Yeah.
my human resources, and I went back to school. I felt better than ever. I felt like, you know what,
Wow.
if I could, overcome this, just like my mentor said, Brian Hunkins, I can overcome anything. It's like,
Yeah.
this is the bottom for you. There's
What
no,
was that turning point? Like, what made you like just go from bottom? What was the turning point? The aha.
I had to take a really hard look in the mirror and remind myself who I am. Like,
Mm.
I know how, I fought my whole life, Melinda. I fought my whole life to be where I'm at, fighting stereotypes, fighting everything that was meant to destroy me, has
Mm.
always made me stronger.
Mm.
And I remember that I looked in the mirror and I was like, Karla, thank God nothing happened to your children, nothing happened to your husband. You're strong, you're resilient, and this is meant for you. And the reason why is because you weren't meant to break. I wasn't made to break. And everything since my humble beginnings, growing up where I grew up in, the neighborhood I grew up in and the people I grew up around with, I was not made to break. And I was alone for that time, because a higher power knew that I was gonna need that during this time. And that's really what got me through. It's like, I've been through worse. I've been through worse. Like, this is the worst, because it obviously, rock bottom for me was my children.
Right.
But no, like my mentor kept repeating to me, if you can get through this, you can get through anything. And I'm like, I've already been through everything. What am I talking about? As long as my children are okay, I took the proper steps to protect myself, for my children. I took the authorities, brought them into it. And I felt confident in the competence of the police department here. Um, and I just remembered who I am, and I'm not made to break. And I love being in HR. And if somebody's not upset at what I do, I'm not doing it right.
Ah, you're that powerful. Well, meaning like you're there to protect them and you're there to, and sometimes to protect them means that it does not feel the best, right? And you got to look at so many different, protecting the organization, the people, the founders. So in you making the right decision as a leader to do that.
Yeah, and I remember you hit the nail on the head, Melinda. You're amazing, really, because that's literally what I had to do. Is like, I have a duty. I
Right.
I I love doing what I do, and I love what Trio stands for, and the opportunities they give to me, but everybody else within the establishment. Um, I went back and I'm like, this is what I'm here for. I'm here to help. Throughout the whole time, the smiles that people would give me when I would help them, I would help them find a solution to their problems, whether it's downloading something for them, their cards are helping them on the phone with benefits. The smiles and the thank yous I would get, that was enough for me. That was, I can't let this go. I'm here for it. I'm seeing Trio from overseeing safety, and seeing it how, when I first walked into this beautiful 40,000 square foot facility of amazing machining here, from going from where I was at there, and now having my inspections be almost immaculate. Brings
Wow.
so much joy that, Melinda, the sound of a CNC running, the chips of metal hitting the floor, the smell of metal. I can't let this go. This is engraved in my soul. I
Wow.
seeing the missiles that our parts go into, and the fact that we are one of the most powerful militias in the world, and the reason why we have freedom of speech, why we have the freedom to have this conversation, to have the opportunities that I have, a lot of it goes into the militia that we have. And I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to be part of the United States militia. And that is a bigger monster than just me. And I'm part of that. We're part of that, you know? And I couldn't take that for granted. And I had to go big or go home.
Yes, and you're meant to go. You're big. You're going big. You're doing it. Like I said, I meant what I said. You're a trailblazer. And so it's so, I mean, your story is so inspiring. And I'm sure that whoever is listening have taken away something today, because you just really, with your story and all the things, the pieces that went into it, you giving back and people helping you too. It's just a beautiful cycle. And I think, yeah, every person needs to hear this.
Yes, and I want to remind everybody and all of our leadership, Melinda, golden takeaway
Yeah.
is to bring back human resources, to lead with fairness and sympathy. We have to remember that if we want successful culture and a culture that we ourselves want to be in, we have to embody that, and we have to be fair at the end of the day. HR is about being fair, and I'm here for the employee, and I'm here for the company as well. And I think we need to remember, as leadership, we have to remember that. We have to remember that we have to be fair, and we have to lead with sympathy.
I totally agree. Totally agree. Because it's about the people. And so they're so lucky to have you.
Thank you, Melinda.
So lucky. Yeah, and yeah, I'm glad that they see the value that you have and the value you bring. And I'm glad that, yes, you're serving, yeah, a bigger mission here. And so thank you for your story, and thank you for doing what you do. Really appreciate your time and sharing your expertise.
Thank you, Melinda. I really enjoyed, you have such an aura, and you have such an organic manner of interviewing. I'm so happy that you were the one who approached me, and I'm really happy to have done this. I respect you tremendously.
Thank you. I can't wait for people to hear it. I can't wait to share it. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, audience, for being here. I trust that you got your golden takeaway. And until next time, remember, anytime you have a moment to talk or that's also connection, and it's also making a positive difference and influence in the world. Until next time, I'm your sister in flow. Much love. Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining the conversation today. Are you curious on how you measure up with your ability to speak in flow? Come grab my free self-assessment at https://speakinflow.com/assessment. And I'll see you on the other side.